Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Jason Hunt here, inviting you to join us every Saturday morning for news. The week's headlines in science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, plus Comic-Con updates and the weather, and the occasional interview along the way. We call it Good Morning Multiverse. We hope you join us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on Sci-Fi for Me TV.
Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleashed!
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and I will answer the phones and help you with your data problems for your crowdfunders with Critical Blast Consulting and all my 35 years of IT and database analysis experience behind me. Popping in the chat tonight, Pops is here. Good to see you, Pops. Glad you're here. Amy, how come I only ever see Amy when Keith is on? I'd like to see you more, Amy. I'd like to see Keith too with you. I'm kidding. I'm glad you're here. Help filling out the chat. American Comics, hail my chat. Glad you're here. Harrenberg, also good to see all of you guys. Yes, the serial adventures continue. We need Republic serials here. Okay, so no secret who the guest is and what this is all about. So let's not even waste any more time and bring him on. Mr. Keith Gleason, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Oh, wow. I love the background. Oh, my God. That's great. I feel like I'm right.
It looks like a background. It's not. It's an overlay.
It's an overlay. It's awesome. I love it. I feel like I'm part of a comic book. What is that comic? Is it all just different panels?
It's multiple. I just went and grabbed prints from a bunch of public domain stuff. So you got Zatara down there in the lower corner. I have no idea what this is beneath me here.
The bird.
Herbie Popnecker, some spanking.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's great. What a great idea for a show.
When I have lots of time, it's like, if I can get to it and the guest has good graphics on their campaign I can use, I'll do something like, change one of the panels to their comic. So that it's there working on stuff where I can I'm trying to get the 5-panel layout working.
Oh yeah for five, if you have 5 different guests, that kind of thing. I
just grab still shots of different videos.
I like it a lot. It's a great idea. I
was told that the black background was boring,
Yeah, I think on our show we just have the swirl, which is part of our logo. But something like that's great. I should think about doing something different too with the overlays and stuff. It's just finding that time in the day to do that extra. Give your YouTube channel an extra touch.
Yeah, and when you have these things, you got to maintain them because as soon as I bring the campaign page up later, this doesn't fit and I have to take it down. And StreamYard is really, really good at listening to suggestions.
Yeah, I noticed they always come up with every few months they have some. They're always working on stuff, which is nice.
Yeah,
it really is a great streaming platform, big time. I love it.
So I've written to them and said, hey, love the overlays, love the different displays that we have here available to us. You can change it from this and back to this.
Yeah.
What if you could upload your overlays and then tie them to these. So like if I did this, it would match with the overlay I gave it to. And then
like
if
it would
I
move with the camera.
Yeah.
The camera
So as soon as
adjustments,
I had the layout where it's two people and a page, I don't have to go change my overlays manually and make it smooth. It's just an instant transition with it. Totally possible, I think. They'll have to figure out how to do it. I got faith in them.
Yeah.
But man,
I like it.
7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, 9. I know. Can you believe it? Like for an independent comic.
Yeah. Well, you know that's why 6 is afraid of 7.
Yes. Exactly.
Because 7, 8, 9.
I know.
Man, that takes me back to kindergarten.
Yeah. Right. It seems to be about my speed a year. It's like 3 issues a year. Just trying to. I mean, you I can't remember. Have you made a comic or not? Or you were gonna?
I have not made a comic, but I am writing a comic.
Nice. Okay.
A 6-page story.
Oh, really? Is it going to be for an anthology?
For an anthology of
cool.
public domain characters, I am writing
nice.
The Clock.
Fuck, I don't remember that one.
Well, you're not old enough.
Okay. What's the Clock's powers?
None. He had no powers. He was the first in comics masked adventurer.
Oh, really?
So like no superpowers, just like wealthy, millionaire playboy by day.
Really? How come
go out, hunt criminals, find them on the waterfront, reach into your suit. He's wearing a suit.
Okay.
And a hat, a fedora hat, and a white shirt. Reaches inside, pulls out a black handkerchief with 2 eye holes cut in it, and just tucks it up in his hat.
Oh, wow.
And calls himself The Clock.
Him being the first, I'm surprised I'd never heard of this character. Was he overshadowed by like Batman or something, or a shadow?
Yeah, it was George E. Brenner was the guy who created him. He went on for a long time in Quality Comics. My God, I'm learning stuff from Mike Walter's show. Mike, you've made me a golden age addict here, because I was like reading different issues online of this.
I love stuff like that though, where it's just a guy that dresses up,
and it was so simple,
like the Spider. Remember the Spider?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
And The Clock did later change his mask, and that's the story I'm telling, is the transitional of that. He changed it to a domino mask.
Did he have any kind of motif with a clock? Like, why did he call himself the Clock?
No, I don't know.
He's going to clean the clock or something.
The strip, the strip was actually called The Clock Strikes.
Okay.
And but he had no puns. He had no symbolism. He didn't even put a clock on the little letters that he left with the beat up criminals.
Weird. Wild. I love it.
I'd had fun with that, but I'm like, he changes the from Captain Napkin Face to the domino mask, keeps the blue suit, keeps the blue fedora. I'm like, you've been sitting in the same magazine with Will Eisner for years, George, and you're going to go with the Spirit, really?
That's great.
And I think he predates the Spirit, so Will might have said, "Hey, I like that clock design."
Yeah, that sounds like a cool project. So a bunch of people are getting together and doing an anthology of public domain characters. That sounds great.
It's not been announced yet, so I don't know if I can talk about who's in it and when's it coming and all that stuff.
Right. I won't probe, but I love the idea about it.
I can tell what I'm doing, so
yeah, it's great. Well, so I'll be on the lookout. I imagine that's going to be on Indiegogo at some point.
Yeah, I think it will be an Indiegogo one. I'm sure of it.
Perfect.
Just from all the people I know who are involved.
That sounds like something I would love.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do any stretch goals. See how I kind of segue into that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to worry about the story. Let them pair up an artist to it.
Yeah, no, it'd be cool to see once you create a comic, like just your experiences of it, since it's
hard.
Be your first one, That's what I was kind of getting at, I guess, when I first brought it up, is like just to kind of, anybody that's made a comic knows, like, it's not an easy thing to do, it's a lot of work.
Oh, no, this is.
Oh, nice. You're doing like the layouts and everything. Like
I'm doing the Matt Fiesel would look at this and laugh at me.
That's how I work too. I make thumbnails probably just as bad as those. And I send them to Ian, and but I also write a panel description on top of that, so he has a lot to work with, and kind of takes that and then like kind of does his interpretation. What's that?
I write the pages, and I've been writing in Word, and like page 1, panel 1, text, text box, dialogue, and
I tend to work a lot backwards though. Like I tend to just write the dialogue and then like let the story flow through me, and then I go back and worry about panel descriptions and things like that. Yeah, Project No Superpowers. It's not
Project No Superpowers.
I like that. That's good.
Learning a lot though about public domain stuff, because a lot of people went to the public domain wiki, found all the heroes there. I'm like, yeah, be careful, because technically Archie Andrews is public domain.
Okay.
Good luck doing an Archie Andrews comic.
Yeah. There's some things you got to stay away from, right? Like even though there's publicly,
because the copyright may be gone on those older stories to where anyone can reprint them, but they can't reprint them with the Archie name on it because that's trademarked, and that trademark is still enforced no matter so it's like the old Mickey Mouse cartoons have fallen into public domain. The old Max Fleischer Supermans are in public domain. That's why you could find them on VHS for $2.50 all the the time.
Yeah, definitely. There's a guy up here in New England who does a comic called Crime Buster, but it's using public domain Crime Busters, but it's using public domain characters from I think it's called Boy Comics. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Like I forget the name of the character. It's like it's his whole group, and he's kind of continuing his own thing using those characters, which is kind of cool. I bought the first couple, and I like it. It's got a very golden age kind of feel to it.
I love the gold. It was such a simple time, and it's like I went back and read the very first episode of The Clock because I wanted to see if there was an origin. No origin. He just does it.
He's been
doing it.
I love it. They didn't think about stuff like that. Then they just here's like this character. He's gonna beat up criminals, and that's it.
Yeah, and as far as flouting the law as a figure of justice, it's not so bad that he beats the people up and then leaves them in a heap for the police. He takes one guy to his basement, and there in his basement, he has an Iron Maiden, and he has thumb screws that hang over a pit he says is filled with broken glass and salt.
So he's almost like the Jigsaw killer,
Yeah, I will get a confession from you.
I love it. I love that. Back then they just didn't care about stuff like that. It just was there. And you thought nothing of it, as a kid. It's just like, I love that though. More innocent time,
Yes. But speaking of innocent times and characters, the cartoon mascots that we grew up with.
Oh yes.
Do we have that as much anymore? I mean, I know the serials keep it, but
not as much. Like, I mean, can you name like I don't think I can name a prominent like mascot in the last
Tony the Tiger.
20 years, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like a new one. Like I'm trying to think new. Like I don't know. Maybe like the gecko from Geico or something.
Yeah.
That might be the
Twitter
closest
bird doesn't
thing.
have a name.
What's that?
The Twitter bird doesn't have a name. You know what?
Yeah.
I just figured out why you're having trouble hearing me. I didn't bring my mic over.
Oh, I can hear you pretty good. Is the audience having trouble hearing you?
Probably, but it's like my mic was 3 feet away, and I know whenever it's over there, I'm not speaking right into it, so it's just picking up the side of my voice.
Oh, gotcha. I can hear you pretty good though. It's a little better.
Remember
now,
McDonald's used to have a whole,
Yeah, they had like the Hamburglar and all that, but there was some kind of law or something where they can't do that anymore, right?
There was a lawsuit.
That's what it was. They can't like market to children or something.
Well, there's the marketing to children aspect of it, but the other end of that was that they had, you remember Big Mac and Mayor McCheese?
Yeah.
Those costumes? Well, that costume designer built those things off plans he had already made. And those plans were for H.R. Puffin stuff. He came from Sid and Marty Krofft.
Oh my God! Yeah, they look they do look kind of similar to that now that you say that, you know.
And the Croft sued them and won.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So they couldn't put those characters out on the commercials anymore. And they, you still see the fiberglass figures sometimes at really old McDonald's.
Oh yeah, where they haven't updated them yet. Yeah. And they had like all kinds of crazy characters, like the fast food. I can't wait to do something with that aspect on Mighty Mascots. It's definitely coming. I'm building up to it, but I would love to do something such with the fast food stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and the way you're doing it and what you're pulling from it has this cool. It has like a Route 66 feel to it, because that's where you would see all this, Burger Chef and Jeff and
all these weird things like that exist in like small towns and like coastal towns and things like that. Stuff you like if you ever wanted like just a slice of like a time capsule town, is just go to like Old Orchard Beach or something, and like those towns are still in the 80s, which I love,
Oh yeah, I used to drive down the actual Route 66, and some of those towns are still in the 60s. Just it's like that Coke sign is not a reproduction.
Yeah, right. yeah, but like maybe the chat knows. I mean, I don't think I've seen anything like like a newer mascot that's like had any kind of staying power with people, like like in the last 20 years or so.
I can't think of anything. It's like we look at that now, we say, wow, that was juvenile, we've grown up from there. I'm like, but there's new kids, we make more.
Right. It's funny too, like like a mascot like Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble for like Fruity Pebbles. Like kids don't even know what that is now. Like they don't know the Flintstones now. So like these are just two random cavemen on on like a cereal box now.
Yeah, and they're advertising cereal, but do you remember what they advertised first?
What, with Flintstones?
Yes.
Was it the vitamins or no?
They did advertise the vitamins, but even predating the vitamins.
What was the Flintstones? No, I don't know. I don't know what their first product was.
Winston cigarettes.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. Because Flintstones started off as an adult sitcom, right? It was on
adult sitcom in prime time.
And then years later, it was just a kids thing on during the day,
Yeah,
there's
I've got the complete
and
series on DVD, and they show a lot of those in there. The one that sticks out to me is like, Wilma's mowing the lawn and Betty's trimming the hedges, and Fred and Barney are standing there like, I can't stand sitting out here watching the women work. And Fred's like, yeah, let's go back where we can't see them. and they take a Winston break, and they're singing, Winston tastes good like a cigarette, bump, bump should.
Well, Flintstone was always based on the Honeymooners, right? Like, wasn't it? Yeah. So like, I could see where that would come out of there. That's interesting. I wonder if those they must have those commercials on like YouTube or something, right?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I'll have to look those
like I said,
later.
they're on the DVD set, so they're out there.
I love that though. It's just shows you the different era, and different sensibilities back then too,
Now, Hyper Potato, there are Whataburgers all around me because they're a southern chain. And by the way, they make they're fast food, and they make a 5-pound hamburger if it's an ounce.
Whataburger. I don't think I've heard of them. They were referenced. I just saw the new that BJ Novak movie called Vengeance that came out. It was literally in the theater for like a week, but it was a pretty good movie. But they were big on the Whataburger. There was like a whole scene at one in that.
Yeah, Whataburger's good. I'd
love to try it. It looked great. From that movie.
Come to one of the Arkansas conventions, and I will buy you a Whataburger of your choice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But they apparently had a mascot team, superheroes, Whata Guy and his sidekick Attaboy.
I love that. That's great. Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of these businesses have sideline mascots, and they should be. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. You think they would do that? Like it's always a good way to get kids into a product, but maybe there's, I don't know.
Maybe that's why they didn't do it, because as you did mention, they did put all those laws out about marketing to children.
it could be that they're worried about being sued and things like that nowadays.
Yeah.
You know how everybody's so hypersensitive about things.
I remember the big government lawsuit over Camel cigarettes and Joe Camel.
Yeah, remember that.
Because there was that prevailing theory that a cartoon character is selling to children.
Yeah.
If they'd have just gotten a live camel to sell cigarettes, it would have been okay.
Yeah, right.
Because obviously live camels are for adults, are far more serious.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Robert, you're right. Mascots inevitably will become problematic. I'm sure Tony the Tiger has a few skeletons in his closet that are going to come out.
Yeah, like you don't see commercials much with mascots. It's nowadays. It's more they're just on the box now, if they're on the box at all.
I see the Tony the Tiger one a lot. Not on television, but on interstitial ads in my games that I play. It's I gotta wait and watch this ad. And he's playing soccer with kids. He's like, calling out for them. They all come from their houses and they're all finishing their bowls of cereal. And
they don't even do cereal commercials all that much anymore. If they do, I don't see them. But they used to have them all the time. Like, like
Saturday morning.
What's that? They still do them on Saturday morning?
Saturday mornings. Well, that was when they did them.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That's when you and I were sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah,
watching cartoons.
Definitely. Yep.
And we lost Saturday morning cartoons, so we don't have that anymore.
I know. It's just a boring world.
It's a boring world. What they do to us?
People that I run into that never had the Saturday morning cartoon experience, it's like, oh man, your childhood sucked, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, when we were kids, when it was Christmas time and the TV guide said, Rudolph is on Monday night at 7 o'clock on Channel 2. It was on Monday night at 7 o'clock on Channel 2. And if you weren't there, your sorry ass had to wait another year.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you did not have a VCR. You did not have them playing it on streaming. You didn't I'm just going to watch this. No, you watched what they were playing and you liked it.
Yeah, exactly. I loved when Saturday morning cartoons were like an event. Remember, like they used to have like the Friday preview show, like the Friday night before. I love that. They used to they'd have the half
two-page
hour
spread in the comic book that would show
that stuff is great.
The schedule.
Yep.
Be like,
love that.
I got a circle. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that.
Yep. I love finding those in old comic books now too.
Yes.
When you see those.
Sometimes I see ads for cartoons that I never saw, and I'm like, I want to watch this now, but it's not on anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God! Someone's gonna make a lot of money at some point. Bringing back like a Saturday morning cartoon thing. Again.
You would think. I mean, Boomerang.
Like I saw MeTV was trying to do it, but it didn't seem like they did it. It would only like an hour or two. It wasn't like an event. But they were on the right track. I like that they were doing that. But
it's got to be cartoons till 11 o'clock, and then in the news. And in the news has to be in bite-sized pieces for kids who are a little bit older who might stay and watch.
And you need like the musical stuff. You need like Schoolhouse Rock inserted in there, and like and all those other PSAs.
We need new Schoolhouse Rock because we've got all new crap we got to know.
Yeah, exactly. Got to know what happens with the bill.
Yeah, Chester Cheetah's still pretty. Yeah. Oh, I'm just a bill.
Yeah,
and I'm only a bill. And I'm waiting for you to donate into my till.
Yeah, Chester Cheetah I still see on packages and stuff, but I don't. Do they still make commercials with him? I don't think they do. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Yeah, they do. It's he's always inciting somebody to try something stupid.
Yeah, I remember too. Like, they trying to bring back recently the Noid from like Domino's. Like,
did they?
Yeah, I thought they were trying to. I thought I saw him in something.
I didn't like him when he was out the first time.
Yeah, I know. But I was like, oh, cool. Like they're trying to bring like the mascot back, But
yeah,
everything's kind of just kind of put under retro now. It's like
is Little Caesar still animated for?
Oh yeah, that I don't know. Like, I do think they still have the little Roman guy in the, like on the commercials. I'm trying to remember.
course, they don't give you a free pizza when you buy a pizza now. Like
yeah,
they
no.
used to.
And the pizza used to be like what, $2, and you get like this huge awful pizza.
I was in college buying pizza, and there was a little old lady in front of me buying a pizza, and they're giving. She's like, "No, I only bought one." Like, "Yes, but I only want one." Like, "Ma'am, it's free. They're giving you a free pizza." And she thought that she'd been double charged and couldn't quite understand
Oh
it.
my god. Yeah, I remember like being in high school and stuff, and you just went there because you didn't have any money. Like, you went there, $5 could get you like an entire spread,
Yes.
It was like
Yes.
the worst pizza. You like had to choke it down, but it was
the thing about bad pizza is that it doesn't get badder. So,
right.
so you can leave it on the coffee table overnight, wake up, roll off the couch, and pick up another slice and eat it for breakfast. It's still good.
Like their pizza was like comparable to like making it yourself on like Wonder Bread, or something like that.
It had to be stale bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Stranger Things prompted the return of the Noid. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, that probably was it, huh? Yeah, definitely. God bless Stranger Things doing nostalgia, right?
Robert found Supergirl and Flash cereal. I never saw those.
Yeah, I have the boxes back here on my wall.
I had 7 Michael Keaton coin banks at one time
the
along my
Batman.
entertainment center.
Nice.
Because remember they wrapped them to the front of the box in cellophane.
Don't buy the Superman or the Supergirl cereal. It's terrible. It like just tastes like nothing. The Flash one's good. It's like a cinnamon flavor.
And these are out now?
Yeah, you can get them right now in grocery stores.
I'm going to have to look.
But I'd say the best thing about them is the actual boxes,
Well, that brings me to something that I wanted to bring up to you.
Oh, okay.
Because you've been on enough of my shows and seen enough of my shows to know that you have great stretch goals and bonuses, but I always have one that you haven't thought of.
Yeah, no, I love to hear. I love any feedback. Okay. I love it. Bring it on.
So you've made trading cards.
I do. Yep.
And you've seen people make bookmarks. So it's cardboard. It's cardboard with gloss.
Yep.
Here's cue up the trademarked logo and background music when I say, "Here's what you need to do." Print as wide as a trading card, but as long as a bookmark, and format it to look like a box top.
Oh, like a cereal box top.
Yeah,
and then like
you always had to collect those and turn them in.
Yeah, and like would you put the flap on there or like the outline of a flap?
You could just have the outline of the flap, and what you could do.
That's not a bad idea.
Really wanted to get crazy, is have a campaign later down the road says, by the way, we have this really cool thing. If you have 3 box tops from previous campaigns, send them in.
Yeah, right. I like that. It's not a bad idea. Like, so it's like a collectible, like, I'll have to look and see what other cereals have done in the past for something like that. That's kind of cool. That's not a bad idea.
I mean, it could just be the box top with the character and, the information about the character printed as like an ingredients thing. Don't forget the barcode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you could just keep those and like tuck them in your card sleeve, tuck it in the bottom sleeve. It'll stick up all the way to the top one.
I have a bunch of cereal boxes back here. I could measure like what that size was and do it pretty accurately. That's not a bad idea. Like do it like as a stretch goal and like, yeah, I like that.
Get a Captain Horatio box top if we hit this much, and
yeah, and then do all the characters. I like that. Like Pete was trying to get me to do like a different cereal box for each campaign, which I like that idea, but they are expensive to do a cereal box. So I think
whole box
maybe. What's that?
Whole box would be very expensive. I've looked into those too.
Yeah, because a lot of the places you have to order a quantity of it, Like when I did the one for the last campaign, I've had those for a few years before even the campaign, because I was actually, trying to build up all like the cereal kind of merchandise beforehand, and I think I used one of my tax returns to do that, to like get
yeesh.
that. So, but what's the
Yeah,
you say?
Harlenberg, you're right. You could cut out the UPC codes. That was when postage got like super expensive, like 30 cents a stamp. We're talking about like, it was the days, it's like send in 3 box tops and with proof of purchase. So you had to cut the box
Yeah,
top
so
off
you had to-
with you couldn't just cut out the UPC.
Yeah,
And
you
no
had to, like-
reproductions.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure you just didn't go into the store and start cutting them out.
Yeah, you had to send in your receipt with it.
I had a friend that remember like when they used to do they used to put like the Marvel superhero stickers in like the Nestle Quick. Remember that?
Yes.
My buddy was like a Hulk fanatic, and when he was a kid, he was trying to get that Hulk sticker. So he would go into every grocery store, and he would try to like nuzzle himself into the corner, and he would open up each of the quick things, and
Oh no.
he would reach in there to try to get the sticker. He had to open up like 5 of them and like to finally get the Hulk one. But he was like dumping like the Nestle Quick in like the corner of like the aisle. So it's just I can't even imagine like the grocery clerk that had to clean that up after, It's a pile of Nestle Quick everywhere.
Embarrassing little story, but about 5 or 6 years ago, they were selling these Orbeez, just a little ball.
Okay.
And you were supposed to take the cellophane off the edges of it, pop it open, and inside would be a little 1/2 inch high DC or Marvel superhero character. And you
Okay.
just collect them all. So I had almost all of them, and I can't even remember which one I was looking for. So I noticed that if you squeezed them just gently, and you swiveled the plastic wrap around, you could squeeze them and look in there and kind of get some coloration.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sitting in Walmart. I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. And I put one down, and I look off to the side, and I swear to God, there's just this one kid standing in the aisle, just arms at his side, just looking at me. He's all of 7, and and he says, "It's supposed to be a surprise."
That's great.
I'm getting called out by a 7-year-old for peeking at the toys. Yeah, you're right.
Those things are expensive, man. You gotta get,
Sure. Oh,
you gotta get
man.
the one you're looking for,
Yeah, when you're down to one, it's like, crap, it's another Green Lantern.
Yeah, right. I
got 7 of these already.
Yeah. Right? That's great.
Oh,
Those everyone has like a story like that, I think,
yeah.
But that's the fun
everybody in
part
the
about
chat.
childhood was when we chased that kind of stuff,
Yes. Well, that's what's missing from a lot of the campaigns I've told people when they do their trading card sets. It's they're not trading cards. They're collectible cards. They're not even collectible cards. They're cards. Because
Yeah.
you're not collecting. You're not going through the activity. You're just here's the entire set. You just bought them.
Yeah,
you went to
right.
eBay and said, give me 1990s Topps baseball. Boom. You
Yeah.
didn't collect the thing.
You don't have like a checklist and you gotta buy a whole box to try to get the entire set thing,
That's why I said people should do one card with their campaigns and collaborate with other creators. And it's you remember the Fleer cards in the 90s for X-Men?
Yeah.
And you'd put 1 through 9 on your first page there because you were a real collector. And when you did that, you had an 8x10 picture of 9 characters in a background.
Yeah.
I was get one artist to draw 9 different characters from campaigns, and then each campaign just put its own card in there. And now, it's you've got a Mighty Mascots card. There they all are on the card fighting something.
Yeah.
And people yeah, that's my cool card. Wait a second. What are they fighting? And you find out, to get the other 8 cards, check out these 8 campaigns. And everybody's doing it and sending them to everybody else's campaign. And it's people who might not have come to your campaign went to some other campaign, and they're well, you know how OCD we are, Keith.
Yeah.
we got to have them all.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back 9 campaigns because now we want all the cards.
Yeah. Well, that's
the
a
only way to
genius
get it.
about what Pete's doing, Samedi, with the alternate campaigns. He puts 2 new alternate cards every seasonal campaign.
I know, and I've already got doubles.
Do you really?
Yes.
And he does the foils too on top of that. So it's kind of a genius move by him, to do go through the entire, like, I guess, Alternaverse, and pull every character.
And I've got the blank
from
ones too, so I got to catch you guys at conventions and.
Yeah, it'd be great. I got to get
This
out
is
to
good.
some of those like Midwest ones, like Chicago and things like that. I'm always up here in the Northeast.
I had no idea that the Nesquik rabbit had a name. I knew
Oh
he had
yeah,
the letter Q on his
Quickie.
chest.
Yeah, that's right, Quickie. Yeah. So he's still on stuff. That's cool. Like normally, like I only see the mascots on cereals nowadays. I don't see a lot. It's a neat idea.
Yeah, and you know what? You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that whole box top idea now, because that doesn't matter whether you like it or not. Amy likes it.
Yeah, right. I'm actually working on, for the next campaign. Do you remember the muscle figures? Like
the
back in the
Keshis?
80s? Yeah, the Keshis. Yeah, I'm working on Keshis for, the campaigns for the next campaign. I'm hoping to do like 2 every campaign and do like.
I've seen people doing those.
Yeah, we found a person to do the 3D modeling for it, and then you got to make like a prototype, and then you build like the mold after that, and then you could start making Keski, or is it Keski? Is that how you say it?
I think it's Keshi, Keshi.
Keshi, yeah. And
You could also do something like this.
Is that like one of those standy things? Oh, that's really cool. I like that.
And they were doing like 1 per issue, and then with the last one,
and then you make like a whole. Yeah, you make like a holder for all of them. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and then they'll flat.
Yeah, that's true. That's the key, right? I'll look into that. That's really nice. Is there a company that does all of that? Like
there is. This was the Miskatonic High, and I have their company name. In fact, I've got Miskatonic High's DM'd me right.
Is that a Source Point press book?
No, they're doing it themselves. Well, unless they've moved to Source Point, they might be going there now.
That title sounds so familiar.
They are because they've been crowdfunding on Kickstarter for, this was issue 15 now that they just put out.
Okay. Yeah, I could have sworn they have it's hard to say, because isn't that's all that all that stuff is public domain too, isn't it? Like Cthulhu and Miskatonic.
Yeah, but there's other stuff that's not so public domain, and like there's the game Miskatonic University.
Okay.
So they're kind of careful not to tread on their IP.
Right.
Chili Pig Creations, and I put the link in the chat there. If anybody else is wanting to do acrylic standees.
Gotcha. I'm gonna bookmark that, because that's something I think would look really cool with the mascots too.
Yeah, especially if you plan it in advance, like they kind of sort of did, so that you had the stand, the base that would later come on there, and then what they did with this character here in the front, she has an astral form.
Okay.
And that's what she looks like in it. But if you didn't want that, then on the reverse side was her schoolgirl uniform.
Oh, cool. I like that. I love the base and everything. I think it's a great idea. Do they do you know if the prices are reasonable?
I have not looked at the prices, because it wasn't something that I was going to do yet.
Gotcha.
I did start to look at like doing a Christmas ornament maybe of the Critical Blast logo, and just sending those out to people at the end of the year.
That's not a bad idea. That's round. It's perfect.
Yeah, it was, and of course they can die cut, but that's one of the reasons why I don't do much but stickers, because I'm round. I'm like Charlie Brown at Halloween. I got a rock.
Right. That's the best though, because you can do a like I have your magnet up on my fridge upstairs, and I was like, it's perfect. Love that, the round magnet.
I keep it simple.
Yeah.
Hey, people in the chat, did you know that Keith has a crowdfunder going on here?
Yeah. No, we got talking about nostalgia, that we got sidetracked from the campaign.
well, now while y'all are in the mood for all those old mascots of yore, and the things they represented, check out the Mighty Mascots issues 6 through 9, and I'll bet you somewhere in the campaign you can probably catch up on 1 through.
I have You can get the entire series digitally for $20 if you want, like all 9 issues. Yeah, it's a steal. And I think I have a catch-up tier, which is all 9 issues for like $40, I think, on there somewhere. But yeah, there's what's that?
I actually found a place because I just wanted to see if it was possible, and it is. You can custom print anything, obviously.
Yeah.
There is a place that does custom print ketchup packs.
So, like an actual ketchup pack.
Yeah, like, the little thing you would get at a restaurant to tear the corner off and squeeze it out. They're empty. You would have to, you have to inject your own ketchup if you were a company. But because they're empty, you could have Mighty Mascots on them and include them in your ketchup tier.
Well, you know what that would be good for when I finally do the fast food storyline. That would be kind of a fun little giveaway. You put like maybe I could put like the evil Burger King guy on there or something.
Oh,
I'm glad he's a great idea. You'll have to send me that link too.
Burger King was always a criminal, at least ever since they made him the big-headed plastic guy.
Well, out of all the fast food mascots, I was like, who would be the leader? Your first thought would be Ronald McDonald, but I was like, no, you go to the Burger King. I mean, what's bigger than a king? So I started there, and I think what I'll do is like probably do a mishmash of all the other fast food people. Like I'll probably try to put Wendy in there somewhere, and then maybe like, like the what's that? I'm blanking on the little kid, the little burger kid, the one that was like based off of Frank Miller's Big Guy and Rusty.
Big Boy.
Big Boy, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Shoney's Big Boy.
Big Boy, yeah, I would do something like that, and and then there's tons of Ronald McDonald's characters that you can riff on.
Oh yeah.
Like
somebody
Grimace, you gotta
the,
make like a monster like the Grimace, That'd be great.
I never understood why he was called Grimace. He was a happy guy.
Yeah, he was.
Six.
Yeah, it was just like opposite of the name, But
like, what a dumb name.
Looked like a giant gumdrop or something,
Yes. Somebody does cosplay, and I used to have the pictures because I used to save really cool cosplay pictures for no reason.
Yeah.
It was the Fast Food Avengers.
Okay.
And it was like Ronald McDonald as Thor. And
I think I've seen that cosplay actually up here in the Northeast. Like somebody was dressed as like a Ronald McDonald's Thor.
Yeah, and I forget where Wendy's was, but they did Wendy's, Ronald McDonald, and Burger King, and it was like
that's cool.
And then they turned them into Avengers as well.
Oh, I love that. I love when they do the like creative mashup like that.
All right, so
it's 3 new issues, and when I pitch it to people, I just say, like it's a comic series that is like when you read it, you'll feel like you're eating a bowl of sugary cereal and watching a block of Saturday morning cartoons. Like that's what I want people to get out of this comic. It's fun, escapist, just storylines. And I always say like the other thing about it like is I kind of compare it to something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where it's like this absolutely absurd concept, but Eastman and Laird just treated it seriously, and that's sort of what we did with the Mighty Mascots. It's like this absurd thing, but I treat it like it's a real like superhero book.
It was an accident with a laser printer and and cereal boxes and cosmic rays. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
just swallow that and let's go.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, that created the Mighty Mascots. Where did everybody else come from?
Right.
They're all there. It's like they're just there.
Just accept it. We try to throw in a little bit of explanation, but it's very flimsy. Let's just say that, but it's supposed to be fun, and you're not supposed to like really think about it too much. The good thing about these next 3 issues, though, we have a lot of first appearances. We have the issue 7, the first appearance of Grunt Calhoun, which is sort of a riff on McGruff the crime dog, but he's going to be like their new, friend in the police force kind of character.
Yeah.
Good support character going forward after this issue.
McGruff's always going to hold a special place for me.
I love McGruff. I can't believe I got a like by the official account on Twitter. I thought that was great. They thought my character was cute. I think they said,
10 out of 10.
I love it. You can still I went on their website. You can still get McGruff crime kits sent to you. Like I was considering doing something like that for the campaign. Doing like a fingerprint kit or something. Like one of those type of things. But I think one of the stretch goals I was thinking about doing was like a McGrunt like crime pamphlet, like how to protect yourself from evil mascots, that kind of thing. I think could be kind of fun, Who knows? We might get there, might do some kind of fun stretch goals like that,
There's so many things people can do. I've been amazed at the creativity people get from the plushies. You've got Captain Horatio Honeyflake's puppet now that you've made.
Yeah, I love that. Amy made that. My wife, who's you've seen amazing artists in like all kinds of mediums, and she's really good at making puppets. Like the Horatio Honeyflake's puppet came out so good. It was like beyond my expectations. It was great.
Anytime
I might get her to
McGruff,
try to do some more. Like Mondo might be an easy one to make. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying, anytime I see McGruff the crime dog, I'm taken back to the 80s and when I was in high school. I was on the speech team. Yeah, chicks flocked around me. And I was in the radio broadcast division, which was, you had to make up 5 minutes of news broadcast, including a commercial. And then you had to basically read it. And it had to be, you had to hit those time markers. There was no broadcasting. You were sitting at a table, the judge over there, all the other competitors in the classroom facing you.
Yeah.
And I did it once before I realized I'm changing this up. Because everybody's like, my teacher gave me the commercial read. It was for Dramamine. It's just like, read the news, read the commercial, and the judge said, can you come up with a better topic for your commercial? So next time we went in, it was like, and we'll be back with more sports and weather right after this moment. McGruff the crime dog here with a special announcement for all you people. And the judge just kind of dropped his jaw, and everybody in the audience was staring at me like, what the hell is he doing? And I finished the McGruff and it went right back into radio broadcast voice and came on. And I took first place from then on at all the competitions. I would have taken state, but I got sick.
Oh, that's great.
It would have changed the course of my life because the state competition award was a full scholarship to Broadcast Center. Would have changed my career path and everything.
That's amazing. And all because of McGruff. That's
all because McGruff put me on that. As like,
I went on
they were
YouTube.
waiting for McGruff the next time, and it was and I was like, nope, I'm going with the McCulloch Chainsaw Beavers this time.
24, 26. Barney Beaver, you broke into my beaver bank.
They still have the old McGruff, the crime dog commercials on YouTube, and the kidnapping one is really, really funny. Like how scary it is. Like they'll just show a kid playing baseball, and all of a sudden the kid just disappears and the bat falls to the ground and stuff. It was like, oh my god. But the cartoon McGruff, talking and stuff. When I heard the voice, it brought me back instantly. It's good stuff.
It was good stuff. So seeing him, McGrunt walk in here. You put Duck Hunt on here, and you got the Aflac insurance, and all I can think is he coming in to help, or is he coming in to go?
Yeah, right.
and
right. I didn't even think about that. That's great. Yeah, because Pete, basically when we do a cover for Alterna, we just turn in the art, and we don't have it, it doesn't have any of the logos, the corner boxes, or anything, and usually Pete does all that stuff. So when he came up with Duck Hunt, I was like, that's perfect. But I didn't even think about that aspect with the dog, That's great.
Yeah, that damn dog was always, I couldn't shoot the dog. I kept trying.
So this one is sort of like a a really lame whodunit kind of story, like but also to show like a little bit of when I say this comic is all ages, it's not like it's more of the all ages we used to get when we read Batman and Spider-Man in like the 70s and 80s, where a character could die in the book, but you didn't have like really graphic like blood or anything like that. Like even on this cover, when I had Ian draw it, I said make sure there's no blood and the duck just has X's for eyes. It's like just wanted to be like, we can show a death, but it doesn't have to be graphic or over the top. Basically.
But you know what? You found some modern mascots by bringing this in, because the Aflac duck is still around, and
it's true.
He's been followed now by Limu Emu.
Yeah, that's right, Limu Emu. We did. There's a page in this issue where they're kind of interviewing suspects, and it's like it's like going to the classic like 6-panel grid page, and it's like each panel is a different insurance mascot, so you can kind of like go through and like, oh, I know who this is supposed to be, and that kind of thing.
Why did the insurance companies start getting mascots and all the food companies started dropping them?
Yeah, it's really wild. Like when you start thinking about the insurance stuff, a lot of they have a lot of mascots. Like you think of like Flo from Progressive. You got the Liberty Mutual, like Limo Emo.
Liberty.
But you also have like the actual Statue of Liberty too that they use.
Yeah. It's stuff we don't want to buy, so they got to entice us and appeal to our inner child.
Hell, Peanuts or Snoopy was like the Met mascot for how many years?
For decades.
Yeah, and then what is that? The other, I think my favorite one is the one. I forget his name. I think they call him Mayhem. Is it the guy that's always getting beat up? Like, he used to be on that show Rescue Me. I forget the actor's name. Oh, Dean Winters. And
protect yourself from mayhem.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Like
those commercials are great. And then you got Jake from State Farm. So there's like a ton of them, And of course the Geico gecko,
Yeah. They just got all of them. And you've got Gog in here, and it took me a while to get Gog. Like, he's the gloomy orange giant.
Yes.
Oh. He's a carrot instead of a pea.
Yes. Yeah, so I knew when I conceived this comic, I definitely wanted to do the Jolly Green Giant at some point. So I've been looking forward to doing this 2-parter since the beginning of the book. And it's just an excuse to have a giant kaiju battle with the book, and also a chance to bring back the giant robot of that the 3 robots form into, which you can't always pull them, pull the giant robot card every issue,
No,
so it's nice to kind of pull it out once in a while. Yeah, Aaron Insurance, that's another one. It's a great one. The one
was that the one where
she looks kind of like Black Widow a little bit,
Yeah, like Kim Possible and doing
the
whole thing.
Yep.
I'm sure somebody has cosplayed as Progressive Flo. I think I've even seen it
Those
done.
commercials with her and John Hamm are hysterical. Have you seen those? They usually have them on streamers, on like Hulu and stuff. Yeah, it's great.
I love the one where John Hamm is like, he's always been the nerdy character, and he's showing the slideshow of his vacation, and he's like, here I am with my sensei. It's like, karate. It's like, no, it's Muay Thai. It's a completely different discipline.
He's a great comedic, I know he's more known for the dramatic roles, but his comedy is like top notch. Like whenever he does something comedic, he's really good.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Ryan Reynolds to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think Heroinberg mentioned earlier AT&T's Lily. Make a comic about her. I will buy it. I don't care what it's about.
Oh yeah, AT&T Lily. Yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah, that's right. She wasn't she supposed to play Squirrel Girl at one point?
She voiced Squirrel Girl.
Okay.
I don't know if she's ever going to live action.
My buddy Chris Gugliotti, who used to do covers for my Swamp Tale comic, he met her out at San Diego Comic-Con. He had drawn a Squirrel Girl picture or something, and she came to the table and bought it from him. He got a picture with her and everything. I was like, you lucky dog.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a cool meet.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when they seek you out, like that never happens, you know. And then here's the second part, the payoff of the giant battle, which I love this cover. I think Ian killed it with this cover. He just did such a great job. And of course, Jolly Green Giant always had Sprout with them. So my version is the Colonel, which is basically a militaristic piece of corn, you know, as his like he's his guide and mentor, I guess, you know. Like the premise of this is sort of like the Colonel's trying to bring back Gog, basically, because he's a mascot that was canceled years, you know, prior to
he was canned.
He's canned, yeah. So he basically is trying to bring him back and then take revenge against the vegetable company for canceling the mascot, you know. Oh, is this what? Yeah, that's what it was. It was like supposed to be a live action New Warriors, I think she was supposed to be part of.
Yep. They got axed before going out, and they didn't even need Discovery to do it.
Right. Right. Yeah, so here's like the original designs for the Colonel and Grunt Calhoun by Ian. Ian always I basically send him like my terrible thumbnails and then my ideas for the character, and then Ian kind of takes it and does his own thing and comes up
they
with
look
good
great
stuff. Yeah,
I'm sitting
great artist. Great. I love collaborating with him. He's so
Colonel
good.
Monty Dell, no doubt.
Yes. Yep. We're also like looking at, there's a couple other characters in issue 8 as more like subplot things that he's working on now. So I can't wait to see what he puts out. But also we're going to be bringing back for a brief appearance the Indian girl Kimmy from issue 2 and 3. She's coming back as a subplot in issue 8.
I know she left. She's not on the boxes of butter anymore.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I know. They got rid of her. I read a whole thing about that too, why they did it, because they didn't. It was something about her kneeling on the cover. They didn't like that. Like she was like in a submissive kind of thing. So then they started cropping it to just her face. So if you find Land of the Lakes now, it's just her face. And but that's why I kind of made her a tough character, so that it was like opposite of what what that was, I guess, you know. She's
going off to hunt a predator.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Actually, I told Ian to, like, when she comes back, I want her to have a little modern look, and I told him to look at that new Predator movie, because I liked how Amber Mid-Thunder looked in that, you know. So I thought maybe we could do something like that for a more modern kind of look or something, you know. But I also told him to look at, like, you know, Danny Moonstar from X-Men and you know, stuff like that. So maybe we'll see what he comes up with. So that'll be a little surprise for issue 8. But yeah, no, I've been dying to get to these 3 issues since I started the book. So I'm glad they're finally here. So
yeah, original got a couple of designs for Gog.
Yeah, Gog came out great. That was actually a suggestion from Pete as well. Like, this is where Alterna is. Pete's always good to, like, throw ideas at you, like, sort of like, you know, good editor in chief. Because I was originally going to call Gog the upbeat orange behemoth was the original name, to kind of do more of the Jolly Green Giant thing.
Yeah.
But he was like, that is like a mouthful. And I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with you, you know? So he's like, why don't you go with like Gloomy Orange Goliath? And then you have like a cool like monster name like Gog. And I was like,
Gog is a traditional villain kind of name. I mean, we've seen it.
You know. Yeah, well, wasn't there a Superman villain named Gog too?
That was Magog.
Yeah. Magog, yeah. So, so.
You know, that's all Revelations, you know, Gog and Magog kind of go together.
Well, that and it also helped with the storyline a little bit by just changing the name. Like I was able to come up with like a little backstory for it and everything. So that's like what a good editor I guess helps you with, those little changes.
I'm hoping the Murgatroyd, that in this battle scene between Gog and the giant robot, a laser gets fired off and his hair, what settles for his hair, I want
it's
it
a
to
little
catch
like
fire.
a whole like a Looney Tunes cartoon or something.
Yeah, I just want it to be on fire for just one panel and him to go
Yeah.
and just have that whole flaming carrot tribute panel going.
That might be a good idea. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. The flaming carrot.
Take it and
That's
run with
great.
it.
Yeah.
All my ideas are free.
That's
I say
awesome.
that
I like
publicly.
it. I'll see if I can work that in because I haven't done the thumbnails yet for issue 9.
One of those Easter eggs that comic fans would. It's one of those Easter eggs that comic fans would.
Yeah,
get.
like the real hardcore will get.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're actually done pretty much issue 7. So I put a release date of next July. So I'm hoping I can get all 3 issues done and delivered before we even hit that deadline. Because I'm trying to be like a good crowdfunder where it's like you get the stuff out ahead of the time or on time. So.
And you've succeeded so far.
Yeah. I mean, last campaign we were a little late, but it was only like, I want to say maybe 3 months late, and that was like because the printer and things like that. But, it wasn't crazy, So, I mean, we got everything out and we fulfilled. Like, I've done 4 campaigns, like, total, like, before even Mighty Mascots. And I've delivered on everything. So I have a pretty good track record for getting stuff out on time and getting it to people's hands.
And where Pete is a real genius on this is that this is going to get crowdfunded twice because you got
and I think that's
campaign.
why it's hurting me a little bit, like because the last campaign, like, it was gangbusters. We funded immediately and then it just grew from there. But it was also we had put it out at a time when no one was really doing anything, which was right at the beginning of the pandemic. But at the same time, Pete didn't have those campaigns yet where it was like offering like the fall and the spring campaigns. So now that we have that, I think people know that this will eventually be on there. And it's like, oh, I'll just wait for that, So I think it's hurting me a little bit. But not, the good thing about buying from me is you get like signed stuff direct from me. You get
that's
variant
covers. How you make it special.
Yeah, you get the variant covers that you won't be able to get anywhere else. And, we have the T-shirt. We have, you can get custom sketch cards and custom sketch covers by me or my wife, Amy. What else
but I would imagine that even the alternative covers, you can't fulfill those until after the winter or the spring thing is because what I do with those campaigns is I buy my advertising.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So naturally the ads got to go in the book. So I imagine if I bought an ad in standard cover 7, it would be also in alternative cover 7. So,
well, actually, I don't know if he would do that. Because I think what he's going to do is with my stuff, he's going to print it so I can, get it out to my backers. And then I think he may print it again when he actually does the campaign, but without the variants. I think that's what he's going to do. I'll have to double check just to make sure, but I know.
So there could be different versions of the same book out there then.
Yeah, and there is actually 4, 5, and 6. There's a couple versions of it. There's the version, the ones that I released in the campaign don't have any of the ads that were in that you guys bought when it was in the seasonal campaigns. So the seasonal ones is a whole almost a different printing. I don't know if he counts it as like a second print or if it's, I don't know what the thought process there is, but like I don't know if he counts my campaign as like its own thing and then
which ones are the ones that go to the retailer?
His. And
there you go.
I
That'd
don't
be the
know. I don't think I don't think on my campaign any retailers. I had a retailer tier, but I don't think anybody took advantage of that. So if a store bought a copy, I don't even know if it was a store or not. It would have been under the person's name, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the ones that he sends out are the ones that are going to stores and like, you know, the official release, I guess, you know.
Okay, so
the
you
ones
got your
I have
Kickstarter
are
releases and your Indiegogo releases, and then there's the
then the
general
official
public
release. Yeah,
release.
and that's where the ads will be that he offers on the alternate campaigns. Like I probably could do my own ads if I wanted to, you know.
Oh, sure.
You know, but
Sure.
like,
I mean, they're house ads.
yeah, pretty much. Like, and here's one of the new variant covers, which is by a talented artist named Steve Mardo, and amazing cover. I love this version of Boxer Bear. He sent me like I believe like eight different drawings, and he said pick one and which one you like, and I picked this one, and he goes, oh, thank God, that's the one I wanted to really draw. So I was like, oh, good, I'm glad we were on the same page in that way, in that sense, you know. He had a really funny one with Boxer Bear coming into somebody's tent to like steal their food, and I was like, I kind of like that one too, but I was like, nah, him punching the cereal bits is even better, you know.
Yeah, there were the mascots that were trying to steal the food, like the Trix Rabbit.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
he was always trying to steal it. And then there were the mascots that were really bad at their job.
Yes,
like Lucky the Leprechaun. He didn't want anybody to have the product.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
Oh, is that the Lucky Charms?
Yes. Yeah, I love that. They always had that. All the mascots were always really fun with like. I used to love those commercials. I miss those days, you know.
Well, there was one. It was Captain Crunch, and it was a cereal commercial with an S because it was an ongoing story.
Oh yeah, I think I remember some of those.
Jay Ward, the guy who created Rocky and Bullwinkle,
did a lot of those, didn't he?
Yeah, he was tasked with coming up with the Captain Crunch,
the crew
setup and all that, and he built an entire world. He went world building with them. It's like,
yeah, there was like the
character's got backstory.
Wasn't there like Jean Lafitte and all that?
Yeah,
stuff?
Jean Lafitte and Lafitte.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. There's a whole thing on that, like Captain Crunch and this like crew of characters, and yeah, I love that stuff. They just don't do that anymore. There's just, you know, and it's such a fun little thing forgotten at the time, you know. This is my first painted cover here too by Ryan Santos. I love that cover.
Oh my God, that looks great!
Isn't that great? I love Honey Flake's face. He looks so huggable. That beard is like so bushy, and like the hat is so big. I love it. I guess
he's got a robotic toucan.
Yeah, and Ryan is one of those guys that's up here in the New England area. Amazing artist, just hasn't like found like a niche in comics yet, you know. And I approached him for the cover. I didn't know he was going to paint a cover for me. But he was like, yeah, I want to do something different for you. He's like, I gave him all 6 issues. He read them, and he's like, I got something for you I want to do. And then he, like, before he showed it to me, he was like, I was going for an Alex Ross kind of thing. And I was like, really?
I was going to say that was there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And when I saw it, my jaw dropped to the floor. I was like, great. And then when I gave that to Pete, I was like, Pete, do not mess this up with logos or anything else on there, you know. That's why the Mighty Mascots is really small in the corner there, you know. And
yeah, that would be like that would make a great print.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing some of these variants as prints because they're such great images. And then this third variant is a kid I went to Kubert school with who actually works in storyboarding and advertising. And, I just happened to reach out, catch up with them. And I said, hey, you want to draw me a cover? And he was like, yeah, sure. So like he came up with this amazing, of course, your typical artist, he hands it to me and he's like, I hope you'll like it. I think it kind of sucks. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Look at this. The cover's amazing. And I was just like, dude, you don't overthink it. Just give me the cover.
Yeah.
Don't go back. It's perfect.
Always their own worst critics. Yeah.
Oh my God. Always.
Biff
Oh,
Ben
hey,
Boobs out
what's
there.
up?
Going to see you guys later. And yes, do follow Keith on Twitter at Reckless Gleason.
Thank you, everybody in the chat joining in and talking about the good old days with mascots and sugary cereal and comics, and but that's what Mighty Mascots is. I was sick of like this. There's not enough fun comics anymore. Fun superhero books with action and just cool characters, and that's what I wanted to return to with this this series. This is stuff I love, and that's why I wanted to just kind of emulate it.
Yeah, I worked for a grocery corporation at one point at the headquarters, and I knew all the people up in marketing. They were all part of my Toastmasters group, and one guy there was he was a brilliant artist, traditional artist, and his job was basically all the cereals that were generic.
Okay.
He was coming up with the character designs that the store would put on the store brand.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are some of the funniest cereal stuff. Like I did stand up for a little while, like for a year, and one of my jokes was about how when you slept over a friend's house and then you went to look in their no, actually it was your friend would sleep over your house and you would be embarrassed because your parents would buy like that generic cereal,
yes.
And you didn't want to show it to your friend, you were just like, maybe we could get some toast or something, because they were just, the names are so bad, like, offering your friend like, here's a bowl of crispy hexagons,
My mother-in-law was always buying the generic cereals because fixed income and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And one of her grandkids was going to be coming, and the grandkids' parents were loaded. So it's like, she won't eat anything but Cinnamon Toast Crunch, brand name Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, geez.
So grandma bought a box of it, and she's like, that was expensive cereal, and they only ate half of it, and I'm not going to buy it again when they come. So what she did, she bought the generic Cinnamon Toast Crunch. She took the bag out, she put it in the box, and then just closed it back up.
Yeah, and they couldn't tell the difference, right?
No, of course not. Here's a grocery industry secret. It's the same stuff made by the same people, sold to a different carrier.
That's what I heard. Like, I heard some of a lot of the store brands use like some of the different same distributors. It's some of the same stuff. Some of it they don't get right. Like most cereals, you can like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, usually pretty close, but like Cheerios, like I often notice the generic Cheerios are never quite like the real Cheerios. Like they don't have that formula down packed,
The canned stuff is mostly the same. In fact, there'll be like a vegetable distributor, and all they have are what they call brights. They're called brights because they're just silver cans with no label on them. So you're like, give me 100 cases of peas, give me 100 cases of corn, and then you put your label on them.
Okay.
So, the Aldi corn is the same as the Shop and Save corn, is the same as the Save-A-Lot corn. It all came from the same canning place. But
that's good to know. Like, so, you don't spend the way the prices are and everything nowadays. You don't have to spend.
Yeah, it's not like there's lesser corn or like, oh, this corn's crap, sell this.
Right.
You have to be able to eat it. So, there's only a good corn all around.
Oh, definitely. So, and then I, with this campaign, I decided to do, like do the McGruff thing and have, like crime prevention, like, patch it or bumper stickers. And then like I have a pin, that people can wear.
Oh, I want a pin.
Yeah. It's all included in the $50 tier. You get really get a lot of bang for your buck, which is awesome.
You got an embroidered patch.
I do, and that's going to be in the $50 tier. And that's the artwork is originally by Joe St. Pierre, who worked on Spider-Man and Venom and a bunch of other stuff in like the 90s. And I love Joe. He's one of the local guys around here that's, local industry guy or former industry guy, and
Yeah.
just a nice dude, So it's cool to get him in to do something with the mascots, And there's the pin, it'd be the 2.5-inch pin with the little riff on McGruff's tagline.
Put a leash on crime.
Yeah,
You got to have fun parodying all this stuff.
I do. Yeah, it's like I think the real tough thing is to start from like something like McGruff and then kind of figure out how to make my own version of it, which pays homage to the original, but also make a character that can kind of stand on its own and be its own thing too. That's always the challenge with my book, is to try to take that, start from a good place, but also try to make it its own thing,
Yeah. You got sketch covers up here.
Yep.
From you and Amy.
Yep. We do pencils, inks, and full colors on everything. So, so totally worth it if you want something from us. And then I put examples there. I brought the cereal box back from the first campaign as well. So if anyone didn't, it's in one of the higher tiers, but you can add it on. It's in one of the, it is an add-on, in checkout. So if you want to get that and you missed it in the first time. And if we hit 7,000, everybody's going to get a Honey Flakes eye patch.
You got these things packaged.
What's that?
You got them packaged.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
I got
cool.
it all ready to go. Like, I figured like anything I make for the campaign, like that like this mass produced, I want to have it available to also sell when I do conventions, So I do a lot of conventions up here. So probably do about anywhere from 10 to 20 a year. So I like to have stuff on my table, especially like, convention table prices are going up, but my comic is so cheap. So it's like, I'm trying to find other ways to make up, that loss. So it's always good to have tons of product, Joe St. Pierre makes a point on his conversation banner. Yeah. The artist of the most Spider-Man #1 covers.
The most Spider-Man #1s.
Yeah, definitely. He did a bunch of one-shots, worked on Venom a lot, like a lot of those early Venoms. And, I think he did some of the issues when they were doing Maximum Carnage and all that stuff. So great dude. I love Joe. So if you guys ever get to meet Joe St. Pierre at a show, just go up and talk to him. He's like the sweetest guy. And he's got some great prints too, great superhero stuff.
I didn't think of this as an item, but I was just looking at the t-shirt and everything. And I'm like, the one thing I'm surprised you don't have, and honestly, I don't know who does it, but somebody does because they sell them, is a cereal bowl.
Yeah. Someone else asked me about that, like a cereal bowl and spoon. I thought about it. Yeah, I just have to hunt. I guess I'd have to hunt around to find somebody that could do something like that, where it's like,
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't need the molded spoon, although you could 3D print it, I guess. But,
yeah, like I was thinking, like doing 3D printing, but like remember the plastic ones you would get as a cereal prize, like something like that.
And then the handle would be the character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I was thinking of doing like the handle, like one of their heads or something, And what was I going to say? Like the cereal bowl is interesting, but then it's like that becomes like a challenge shipping wise too, So that's the other thing I was thinking about, But it wouldn't be bad to consider. It goes with the whole motif,
It definitely does. You can just charge the appropriate amount of shipping if it's on that tier.
And just pack it.
I do that.
I know. Yeah, I know. I got to hit you up and see like what. Like for your logistics stuff, how low, like how many orders, like if you do overseas stuff, right? Like, is there a specific amount that you need to hit to make it worth using Critical Blast Logistics? Like say, like, do you need like 10 orders going to Australia or something like that?
Well, here's the thing. I used to.
Okay.
But now the shipping company that I use, okay, so what I did was I would say I'm going to send 10 books to a hub in Australia, and then they're going to break them up and do them local. I've got a guy who does that.
Okay.
And then the people that I ship with, they decided, yeah, we're doing the same thing, and you qualify because you've done enough international. So whenever I say, this is labeled to Australia, this is labeled to Australia, and I print it with them, I look at it and says, oh, I wanted to go to Australia, but it's going to Elmhurst, Illinois, because they're going to take all the Australia packages that they've got and ship them over in one shipping container. So all of a sudden I shipped one package to Australia with only 3 books in it. So it wasn't even a big package, $35.
Oh, wow. That's actually really good.
So, three books for $35, then plus, the domestic, once it got there, you got the 3 times 12. I think it was $12 per book once you got in country.
Yeah.
But, that's still like $25 per unit by the time it was done.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Or less.
It's not bad.
So, we definitely help you.
I'll let you know, like, once it's over, what I have for overseas stuff, because I think that's where I would need, a break, I guess, on pricing and things like that. And I can tell you what I have, and then you can let me know what's the best way to do it, I guess, or have you guys do it. I'd definitely be all for that, I think, I don't even try to advertise. I just say we're here. No, I like that. I like that. No, it's a service that's definitely needed, I think,
Yeah. Ideally, we like to work with people before their campaign so we know what they're going to have, and then we can say, this is what you should charge.
Oh, gotcha.
So that, you're not, saying $30 for, this. And then it's like, well, yeah, but that's a 20-pound package.
I actually, I priced out everything on my tiers based on something you shared, I think, a while ago in the chat that we're in together. You shared some prices. I think you shared a screenshot or something, or 2 of those, and I saved those because I knew that was going to be good a resource. So I used that for a lot of the pricing on there. I don't know if I got it exactly 100% right, but I figured they were at least a good starting point for me, So I did use some of your data, I guess.
That's fine. It's all free data. That's why I put it out there.
It's great. It's good stuff. Good information.
Speaking of the old branding and advertising that takes us back to nostalgia, you are now at $38.11 US dollars.
I saw that. It went up backers. A little bit. Yeah, was it? I was at like 79 earlier today, so it's nice to see it's finally moving a little bit again. It was like a little bit of inactivity this week.
So, but what that has generated is what we call the shake and bake moment on our channel here.
Oh, nice.
Anytime a backer, anytime a project gets backed during the live show, we claim credit. We assume it was one of our listeners,
I think it was.
we get to do something a little bit like
it's
this.
Shake and bake, and I help.
So,
I love it.
Whoever was out there that helped, thank you for doing so. Mike, good to see you out there. Yes, I saw you calling on the phone there. I could not pick it up, obviously. Right now, I'll get back with you. Mike is going to be doing the mic stand in a half an hour, which is where we were talking about Golden Age comics. So I've already talked about you, Mike, at the beginning of the show.
Love it.
There's nothing more to say here, folks. Just check these tiers out and go out and get yourself some Mighty Mascots.
I'd say the best bet is your $50 tier. You get so much stuff with that. You get the 3 issues. You get the 3 variants. I'll sign everything. You get 3 mini prints of issues 1, 2, and 3 without any of the logos on it or anything like that. And then you get all the exclusive Grunt Calhoun bumper sticker, the pin, and you get the embroidered patch. And then any stretch goals that get unlocked, you'll get as well. So all that for $50.
I need that embroidered patch.
Oh, nice. You got a whole collection going on there. Awesome. Yep. I love it. I think too. I have all that stuff: the patch, the bumper sticker, and the pin as add-ons. So if you just wanted to buy the 3 books and just want that patch, you add it on at the checkout as well. So if you don't want to spend $50 and you just want to, get the basics, go for it. So that's what I love about Alterna. The books are cheap. Like our starting tier is $15. And that's all 3 issues signed by me, and then you get 3 mini prints, all for $15, which and then you just add the $5 for shipping. It's like a good $20 value, And then like we have all the catch up stuff. What'd you say?
They're very I almost said they're cheap comics. They're inexpensive comics. They're good comics. So
yes, and the printer. You've probably seen the latest because you have the ads in Alterna, but the printer Alterna has now is putting out some really good quality newsprint comics now.
Yeah,
it looks really nice. It's probably their
increased.
best printing job I've seen.
Because I know when I tried Alterna, I bought an ad with them. It was Midnight Mystery Comics #1.
Okay.
So I had my local comic shop at that time where I was living say, get me 15 copies of this because like $1.50, yes, I can afford.
Yeah, right.
And I noticed that it was kind of hard to read inside from the printing on newsprint, but it has increased in quality since then. The ones I'm doing now, the Downcast, Mighty Mascots. It's really, really good printing. Tell me, did Pete blow a gasket over all the coverage that Mark Miller got for his $2 comic news?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Changing the industry.
Yeah, he was a little miffed about that. He talked about it on one of the streams that I can't remember which one it was. If you look for any streams from around the time that was announced with Pete, I think he did talk about it, got into it a little bit. I noticed, I think for this next campaign, he's doing $1.98 books so that he can be lower than Mark Millar for one season, But yeah, no, that coverage is, it's just typical, like Pete's been here doing newsprint for like the last, 6 years now?
Yeah.
At least. And like, he's had books as low as $1.50 a buck, and them to come out and like, make such a big deal about the Mark Millar thing and just, I could see why he was a little upset about it, It's like,
yeah, but if it starts price wars, that'd be great.
Oh my God, right? Like, I mean, to get books down to $2 and you don't even really think about buying them at that point. It's just like, I'll just
no.
Like even the Millar book, I'm like, $10 get you the entire thing. Yeah, I'll probably buy that.
I'll try it. Yeah,
and I'm very
absolutely.
like hit and miss with Millar, but I'll try it for $10.
Yeah, me too. I mean, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah, when he's on, he's amazing. But when he's off, or if you can just tell that the whole comic is just a Netflix pitch. It's just kind of like yeah, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah,
but
really
you're
like
right.
his
When he's
Magic
on,
Order
he's
right now.
amazing. What's that?
I'm really liking his Magic Order stuff.
Yeah,
right
that's probably I think that's the only book I buy from him right now. Those 2 miniseries have been great, and I just saw the third one started, so I'll pick that up as well. But yeah, the art's been amazing in those books too.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know we've seen all this stuff before somewhere. I mean, this is kind of like Umbrella Academy meets Books of Magic.
Yeah, but he does it in a really refreshing way. Like it just the way he gets there is cool. Like I don't know, I just like it.
Yeah, and all his characters are messed up, but
Yes.
that's for Mark. That's for Mark's show. Whenever he decides to come on the channel, we'll talk. This is Keith's show, and it's all about the Mighty Mascots.
Yes.
Keith, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you got to be somewhere. We started early so we wouldn't run you too late, and we've gone an hour and a half.
Yeah,
We've taken
great.
up all the time we
I love
gave
it.
you for leeway.
I knew we would though, because we haven't seen each other for a while, and there was a lot to talk about. And when we go on those tangents, So
you've got to get out to some of these Arkansas conventions here.
I know. I should. My buddy Johnny that does Indie Comics Relay with me, he goes all over the place. We'll have to you'll have to tell us about which ones are good and which ones to hit, because I'd be down with it, to try.
Yeah, the NWA. That's the Northwest Arkansas Comic Con.
Okay, and that's a really good one to hit. Okay.
Well, it's the best one I've seen. Now I know there's one in Little Rock. I haven't been to that. I don't know when it is. I think I missed it already. Okay. But yeah, it's a small con. It was weird. I was at the NWA con, and Michael Rosenbaum was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was like he's just sitting in a corner. I was like, there's nobody in line. I was like, no, I didn't have $50 that I was going to spend for an autographed picture. I don't go to comic conventions for actors,
celebrities. Yeah.
And there were a lot of voice actors. There was the guy who's doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff was there, and he brought 4 cosplayers out in the full turtle regalia to a boombox. I mean, they paraded the length of the thing to get to his table, then they were there for photo opportunities. And those photos were free for all the kids and everything. It was just like, get your picture taken. Here you go. Use your own phone.
That's kind of cool that they did that for kids, you know? I like when they do stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I just go to comic conventions for comics.
Right, yeah. Isn't that a weird thing?
I haven't seen comics at a convention for ages.
Yeah.
And anytime I go, it's like the closest I get is all the people who've done covers for Zenoscope are in the
right. They're out there. The shows are out there. They're like those small, Holiday Inn shows where it's just comics. Those are the best. They are around.
With creators.
It's just gonna dig for. It's like digging for a good comic to read nowadays with everything out there. It's the same thing. Finding a good show is the same way. What's that?
When I want a good comic to read now, I go to Alterna.
Alterna. I swear to God, like Alterna is one of those small press companies. If I wasn't part of them, I would be, still loving all their books. They put out some great stuff. And also this next campaign coming up, RJ, is going to be amazing. There's some amazing books. Yes, I love it. I love it. The premiere of that Horace H. Hoover book is in this new fall campaign coming out. And Fabrizio, the artist on that, he's like the second coming of like Bernie Wrightson. So check out that book. It's going to be amazing. I haven't even read it yet.
Is that a riff on H.H. Holmes?
It might be, yeah. It's wild. The dude wears like a vacuum cleaner on his head and fights supernatural creatures and stuff. It looks wild. Like if you look it up, you could probably find you can find Fabrizio's website, but you could check out what the character looks like. It's going to be one of those books that's just going to be awesome, I think, so I can't wait to read that. Very cool. Keith, thank you again for coming on the show and bringing the Mighty Mascots with you. Everybody in the chat, thank you for showing up. We don't have a show without you. We're just a podcast falling in the woods otherwise. So we appreciate you being here. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody. Awesome. Bye, everybody.